guys, it is 23rd of October. I meant to make a vlog yesterday, but I got the opportunity to play a game with some friends. So we played Lords of Waterdeep instead of me editing for a few hours. Spent a lot of time Pokewalking yesterday. Actually, I've been Pokewalking a lot lately. The Halloween event is going on, and I'm out of resources. So I went from being layabout, do nothing to like over the last 3 days, I think I've walked like 8K or something like that. So my legs are really tired. But like I said, I am out of, specifically I'm out of Pokeballs, so I can't play in the event. So we're gonna spend some time, we're gonna run a couple errands today, and then we're gonna go hit up a place that has a lot of stops all lined up that we can drive past real slowly without inconveniencing anybody. So we can get a little bit of distance, I can farm some stuff, and then I'll be able to catch more ghosts and stuff. So that's the plan, and hopefully I'll come up with something more meaty to talk about than just my Pokemon Go playing habits before this day is over. Alright, so we are now out at Mount Moria Cemetery, which is where one of my grandfathers? Yeah. Where my grandpa was buried. I called him Poppy. We've got some other family out here as well. It's a really kind of beautiful place to come. I know a lot of people don't necessarily dig cemeteries, and I can understand that, but my lady's outlook on it has always been that it's basically a park that will never go anywhere. So if you're not torn up by it, they're actually kind of nice places to be. They're usually well kept. Ours also happens to be full of monuments, which is real good for Pokemon Go. So we can come out here and I can kind of go clean up his gravestone, and then we just kind of meander around a little bit. You can drive really slowly, so it trips distance on egg hatching, and there's a back corner that's got a bunch of Pokestops that I'll be able to farm some balls on. So that's what we're gonna do next. Alright, so weird thing I noticed yesterday that I forgot to comment on while I was recording. So while we were out at the park Pokewalking yesterday, an incredible amount of people had like professional camera equipment, like light baffles and pieces of sets, like fancy chairs and stuff like that. And like some of them I could buy. It was a really nice day yesterday, so I could buy that some people were out there getting like family photos or Christmas pictures or something like that. I assumed there was like an event or something going on. Just the sheer amount of people with like tripods and like seemed to be collecting like footage for something. I don't know. I saw one dude who was just like collecting either pictures or video, I couldn't tell which, of like throwing rocks in the water. Not like him throwing rocks in the water. He had his camera trained on the water and just kept throwing shit into it, catching the splashes. So I don't know. It was just weirdly coincidental, I guess, that everybody and their mother, who is an amateur to professional photographer, decided to go to the park yesterday. But anyway, doesn't affect anything, just something weird I noticed that I didn't have a chance to talk about yesterday. We're about probably halfway done here, but I hatched a witch hat, Pichu. It's so cute. Its little eyes are, not eyes, but its little ears are folded down.
It's a fucking wonder too.
It's a wonder as well, yeah.
I'm very angry.
Not pretty well, actually. Flowers are a bit faded, but... So today, as we've been kind of driving around chatting and just doing errands and stuff, we kind of ended up talking about like media in general, because we told some people that like we go to the graveyard to play Pokemon Go, and occasionally you get like odd looks from folks. And you know, for some people the graveyard's a sad place, and for some people it's a reverent place, and we're not particularly spiritual or anything like that, at least not in this sort of way. Neither of us has any like superstitions tied to graveyards, so it doesn't really bug us. And like we said at the top, they're just kind of like, they're well-maintained, nice places to go hang out, and it just so happens that there's a million Pokestops at this one. I do have some relatives and stuff buried here, so if we were like pissing somebody off, it'd be pretty easy to be like, yeah, you know, we're here for a reason, sort of thing. And yeah, we always go and like tidy up the grave and stuff like that. But in any case, it made me start thinking a little bit about just like media in general, and the fact that I kind of consume it in a bit of a strange way. So like I like movies in theory, but I don't go to them very often. It's kind of like pulling teeth to get me to go. And I also like, when I do see a movie that I really like, I am driven to own it. I want to pay for it and have it. Because what if I want to see it again? But then I never want to watch them in my home or anything like that. Like, I end up like owning all this stuff that I have no interest in really ever watching again for some reason. I don't plug into shows. I mentioned that in the last one, with the rare exception of like a handful of anime that like hits my number sort of thing. Although I did realize I am more likely to try something if it's animated than I am if it's live action. I don't know why that is. It might be a holdover from like when I was younger. I did watch movies all the time. A lot of those were cartoons, and maybe that's why I'm drawn back to those or something along those lines. But yeah, so I just end up like not doing anything with the media, and it's actually somewhat like active in my feeling towards it, where like I'll be sitting doing nothing at all. I'm literally just wasting time, and someone will be like, hey, we could watch a movie, or I like this show and I think you'll like it too. And pitch it to me, and I get this feeling in my gut as though like I do not want to do that thing that you just suggested, even though I'm doing nothing constructive at all right now, which I find somewhat maddening. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird, and I kind of want to pass that on to you guys. Like, do you consume media in a strange way? Because like on the flip side of things, I will watch vlogs that I've seen before over and over again, and like I'll listen to the same episode of a podcast like 4 or 5 times in a row just to listen to the person talk. And like we've been discussing it as the day's gone on. I think it might be that I personally enjoy people more than characters, which I find a little odd considering like I'm quite into like D&D and like video games and things along those lines. Even like the Let's Players that I watch, the episodes that I always end up loving are the ones where people just like plug into like a bit more about who they are and what they're about and stuff like that. So I don't know, just a weird thing that struck me while we were driving around a graveyard. So yeah, let me know. Do you guys have any foibles, weird patterns with your media, or do you just like stuff? Like, you know, it was posited earlier. My girlfriend was saying, fiance, I'm still not used to saying that. Fiance was saying that like sometimes liking something takes a certain amount of effort on your part. Like you have to want to plug into it. And like she's gone to movies with people before where they were kind of like an impromptu, not planned, like, hey, let's just go do this thing. And her gut instinct was like, I don't really want to, but she did it anyway and had like a great time. And the same thing has happened to me. Like she tends to watch shows a lot more than I do, and on occasion I'll be near her when she's watching them, and like I catch it out of the corner of my eye and like I engage. She just kind of had to like do it around me and like force me to engage on it, but once I did, I found it enjoyable. I don't know, it's fucking weird, and it might take some more thinking. Maybe I'll expand on this in a more like sit down talky kind of blog. But anyway, we're gonna go home now, so see you later.